guys, Zero Gaming back here, and today is another special video. I might sound a little different again, new editing software, more powerful stuff. So now I'm recording on a little different thing now, but we'll get used to it. So I'm going to be talking about today is Red Dead Redemption 2 just in general saved, and then we'll also be talking about story, and online is a big one especially. That will be a big topic we're going to be getting to. So I'm going to just start with like an overall basis. So what happened just I think it was like a week or two ago, somewhere in that timeline, like really at the end of May, they released a new online update, which made it so more missions would come to the game. They also added new clothes, of course. They also added something pretty cool. They also added new, new missions for you to explore some of the gang's backgrounds, like Sadie Adler and that kind of thing. So that was pretty cool. They also added different multiplayer modes too, which was really cool. I really like how they did that. And a lot of people liked how you didn't have to go, like you could actually access multiplayer through the menu. But then again, it was just beta to start off with. So let us not forget that. It was always just a beta and nothing really crazy. So we're always going to have a beta, like until then, so nothing was final. So I'm really glad they tied up loose ends and they made the game pretty nice. So next we'll be getting on to is the story, and then I'll come back to Red Dead Online and just like talk about like little things about that. So in the story, you guys may not have known this, but now that this is actually pretty interesting. Even I tried this for myself and it worked. If you drop, like, let's say a skin of a deer, let's say, and you drop it, it's going to stay in that area until you come back for it, or you go like far enough away from it, or you sleep a few days. That means that it's not automatically just going to despawn once you get out of the area. So I kind of like how they made it so if you need to go get another horse to stow it on, or you need to come back, you need to make 2 trips to get your loads, that you can. That's really nice. I don't know if it works for all pelts though. I know it works for ox pelts, which is like kind of like weirdly I guess strange and specific. But I mean, I guess it works for big pelts, and those are usually the more expensive ones. So I wouldn't see how any of that would be changed at all. So I'm really glad that they made it easy for people to not lose money or come to an inconvenience in their gameplay. And then another thing they also did is they almost made horses just a little bit different. I don't know if you guys have known, but they're a little bit more easier to control. I think they might change something with their code and all, but horses seem definitely a lot smarter in this mode. And for that's mostly it for story. This is more on Red Dead Online. Even though the update took quite like an hour or two, they still focused on their main objective, and that was getting Red Dead Online out of beta. Now a lot of people played and then stopped because they didn't really add any new multiplayer to that. Like, it's still fun to do like stealing from other people or stuff like that, but they really didn't make it as nice as to if you're going to be going to, I guess, rob a bank with people or something like that. They made that's fun and all, but they really didn't improve their PvP, where everybody runs into the center at once. But then again, this isn't Call of Duty or things like that, so you're definitely not gonna have the best PvP like multiplayer, and it's a lot funner with modern guns instead for like little pistols or something. It can be fun for some people, but for me, I just found it like really boring, and not many people play that. Even after the update, I found no one playing that. So I don't really think that it saved multiplayer. I think it made people happy that it completed it, but I think Rockstar's kind of at a little bit of a I wouldn't say inconvenience, but I definitely say that GTA 5, now they have their online version of it. They actually have standard revenue from that, actually, so people are like continuously playing that and they won't stop really. So that brings to the question is why are things like this happening, and will they work on that? And the answer is yes. They're actually still adding on to GTA 5 today just like, so many years later. It's kind of crazy, but I mean, you have to keep the people around, and that's true. So I think what they're really going to do on this is they're going to start, GTA 6 hopefully, not come up with a Red Dead Redemption 3. Now don't get me wrong, the storyline was amazing, but people just, they get tired of it, and I think it's like the horses and everything. I won't say, I'm not going to get copy striked if that's what you guys were going to, if I was going to say that. I'm not going to say that. But what happens is people want modern stuff, and you really don't have modern stuff in this game. Now, people like, the hunting aspect of it, things that you don't see in GTA 5. And remember, I'm only guessing, I never played that game, but, it's a modern game where you pretty much, it's Red Dead Redemption 2, just, I don't know, 100 years later. So that's basically it. I mean, there's really nothing too different about it. And that's just like the case. People like it modern instead for not modern. So to answer everybody's question and then go on about analytics and stuff, this is definitely one of the more loser like losing situations of them. Not like people love Red Dead Online now. Some people do, some people don't. But for me, I really think I like playing the story mission better than online. Who knows? Maybe they'll do something to make it better. I mean, I know a lot of people like doing. I'm not exactly sure why. It's like fun to goof off with friends, but you really don't. It's not really as fun as you'd think it'd be. It's just more story missions and a lot of them too. And then you have time, which isn't fun. Those little counters that time down to when you get your mission expired. So those aren't exactly fun. So I mean, what you guys think about it, but for me, looking at the numbers and even me trying out for myself, seeing if anybody would join, there's no one playing the multiplayer, and maybe it was just on my server, but I live in a pretty populated area, so I'm surprised no one was getting on those servers. And remember, the servers aren't just local; they are, I guess, like kind of like international. So you might be playing from someone from some other continent or whatever. So for me, that was kind of like a letdown, seeing that no one, like people probably played on it for like a few days, and it's like, okay, I'm bored again. I'm going back to whatever games I have. And remember, there's a lot of new games popping up, so people are, they're gonna stick to what they like. So that's basically about it. Now the graphics in this game are great, and the shooting is fun. So I'm gonna go back to just like online, like strictly for a second. The missions are okay, and the stranger missions, same thing. But I don't think it's, I wouldn't say it's like the best. And then people also the people aren't reliable anymore. People start, just like, they leave, and it's not accountable because you won't get banned if you leave too much. So it's kind of like that problem. So they really haven't, tackled rage quitters yet. So I hope they do tackle, that kind of problem, because it is a big issue, especially on online video games. So, and especially if you're risking something like, some kind of like money or something. Like if you lose, like 5 pieces of gold, something like that. And so that's gonna affect people's gameplay and all of it. So and then just to get finish up with the story mission. I think the story mission will always be played. I think it's always a fun game just to come back to and then move on again. There's so many more bigger games coming out, but this is like one of the most expensive games. And I see why. The graphics are amazing, and they really did a good job on this game. So I think even if the online version isn't that fun, I think they're definitely going to have a better version with the other one. And numbers don't lie, they still have a bigger number on the online in a constant flow on GTA 5 than they do on Red Dead Online. I don't know why it's like that. I just know that people like they're modern, and I think there's like a little bit more story to it or something like that. Not to say that people don't like westerns, it's just, I guess it's not the most popular, and that's why they decided to make more GTAs instead of Red Dead Redemption. But I think they ran out of ideas and decided to make a Red Dead Redemption, and now they're going to work on a new game that will keep people, popular and influenced. Anyway, guys, I'm GrunchLab0 Gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you guys subscribe so you guys will see more Red Dead Redemption 2 videos when they come out. And I upload daily now, so definitely catch on to that. I make new videos on all different kinds